Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talking Tech with my co-host Rycover here with his new mic and new setup, so he's going to be sounding very crisp now.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I hope it's coming back through clearly. I hope the camera's looking good. Yeah, missed last week, sadly, but it's good to be back with you, mate. Yeah, hopefully sounding a lot better, looking a lot bigger headed. The light I was promised a
It looks
reduced in
good.
head
It looks
size,
good.
and it's not looking like that's worked.
Yeah, no, you're looking fine, mate. Looking fine. So what's new, mate? Tell us what's obviously you've got
Not much,
some
mate.
new
Not
gear.
much. Yeah, got some new gear. So I've got the AT2020, the Audio Technica XLR mic, making the first switch off from having a USB mic. Obviously, previously I've been using the HyperX Quadcast,
Mm-hmm.
which I loved, but just all the recordings and everything I've been doing lately, going back watching the VODs and comparing my audio to the USB mic, it's so different.
Big
I
different.
just can't believe how big a difference it's made.
It has. Yeah.
And then obviously the lighting as well, being able to get, I think you've said it many a time on our shows before that how much of a lighting so it can make a bad camera look good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I completely agree. Could not agree more. So yeah, shout out to Elgato with those key lights because they are amazing, 100%.
They definitely are. As we're going to start the show off, as we always do every single Talking Tech, we're going to start off with our sponsors. So we will start off with good old Cooler Master. So Cooler Masters have been supporting PC419 for a few years now and do support the channel and do support Talking Tech, particularly with their vast keyboards, mice, cases and power supplies, and even liquid cooling. Head over to coolermaster.com and check out for your next hardware needs. As well, Tesoro Tech are sponsoring PC419 with their gaming chairs. They're actually pretty cool. You can buy these gaming chairs from Scorp Tech Computers, which we'll put the link into the chat very, very soon. But head over to tesorotech.com and check out all their gear they've got as well up for sale when you like. Zand, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Ooh, those new emotes.
Let them go.
I didn't do that.
The old Halloween. You didn't do that?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Is that from Streamlabs?
That must be. Yeah,
Elements? Has to be.
They must have done the old, the whole Halloween theme on your remote.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, what? Going on at the moment. Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. And welcome, chat, as well. So we'll be talking about I've actually got a few good topics for tonight, especially with the next few, less than 24 hours, about 8 hours. Yeah, about 8 hours away from AMD.
Our time, I think. Yeah.
Yep, from AMD releasing their new 6000 GPUs. So they'll be talking about that. So if you want to stay up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch, I don't know if I'll be able to stay up at 3 a.m., but if not, I'll get all the info directly from AMD as a first email from the morning. Friends, how you going? Welcome. So we'll be talking about that a bit later on the show. But first thing I do want to talk about, actually, you've seen it now. What do you think of the new setup so far, of the way we've done this scene here?
I love it. I think it's clean.
A bit cleaner.
Big shout out to Tesoro as well. Love their logo and Cool as well, sponsoring the show. But I love it. I think it's a lot cleaner, and hopefully
we can see you more now. The thing too.
I think it's the best thing. Every week we're improving it a little bit, and one day we'll have that perfect show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to the straw poll for tonight.
A lot of good topics tonight. Very excited.
Yep.
Very excited.
So tonight's straw poll, which we'll put the link into the chat, which I already have, but we'll put it in there again. So you guys let me know what you think. So is the 3070 worth buying over a used 2080 Ti, or wait for AMD 6000 series cards to arrive or be announced tomorrow? What they're going to be announcing tomorrow on, which I'll say paper, is I wouldn't say it will be true facts until we actually get the hardware into the studio. That's what I think. What are your thoughts on AMD's new gear coming?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know. I love the straw poll this week. It's something that's been on everyone's lips. I've had a lot of people come in and ask me. I think I was talking to about this prior to going live, but lot of people are asking now, like it's come to that end of the year. They've gotten to a point where they've got some money. Maybe their tax returns have come in.
That's right.
I've got a lot of friends and a lot of mates that are now in that market of wanting to build a new computer. Having a bit of extra money or been
Yeah.
saving up for the year, and they're like, "Is it worth it? Rycover, is it worth waiting out to get a 3070?"
But
When it
what are
comes
your
into
thoughts
stock?
on that? What are your, particularly if you had the money right now, would you be buying a 3070, 3080, 3090, or would you be waiting for the AMD
It's a
series?
great question. I'd be waiting for the AMD. I want to see what AMD release. I want to see their performance. I want to put it up next to the 30 series, and I want to see what their performance is. That's just me being a bit of a tech head, though. I want to see what the performance are next to the Nvidia. Ones. I
Yeah.
really am excited to see what they come out. They've been out, for what, about a couple of months now,
Hmm.
since um, they announced the 30 series, and I'm really excited to see what AMD come out with. I've only got to wait a couple more hours. Obviously, yeah, I am keen to get the 3080. That's the card I've always wanted since it was announced. Getting a 3080
Hmm.
into my system is going to be amazing. But
Yeah.
look, if AMD do it cheaper and it's a equal, if not more performance wise, then it's going to be hard to fight.
According to Mark, that one vote to stay is from me, but also ticked the AMD one. More than likely, I'll stay with my 1080 Ti. So I have a car to mod and I must to buy. So Mark just bought a new car.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, his old car got got destroyed. So he got
Oh, what?
got paid out for it, and now he's got a new car, which is good. But 1080 Ti's, I don't know, they are getting a bit old in the tooth, depending on what sort of games you're
Yeah,
playing as well. Like,
I agree. I agree.
are you still running SLI, Mark, or is it just single 1080s?
Yeah, I think for me as well, the one thing that I've been giving advice to for people as well with the 2080s is to still wait for the AMD. Because I mean, I'm still expecting another drop in price for the 2080s.
Mm.
I still think the 2080s are still. I think they're sitting around $700. I'm expecting $400-500. In
So
the next month or so. So
they're going to be dropping down very, very low. So now, if we convert the 2080s or 28, or sorry, the 3070, which should be around an $800 to $900 card, if that,
yeah,
converted to
yeah,
Australian.
yeah,
2080 Ti's second-hand market would be looking around 450,
yeah.
500.
That's what it should be. Yeah,
Well, that's what
exactly.
it should be. We'll get close to it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah,
So from that case there, that's the reason why a lot of people can pick up a cheap 2080 Ti
yeah.
just for that reason. Like if they're going from say a 9 series or a 10 series, for example, you're going to get 3070 performance
Mhm.
at $400-500.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree.
Mephisto goes single on the main SLI 980s on the bedroom PC, and then he goes
Nice,
games
nice.
are shit lately, so I don't really play anything. Haven't played
Fair
Star Citizens a month. Valhalla will be the test. Yes, Valhalla will be the test. I really can't wait for that game. That's
enough.
probably one of the games I will be playing a lot because I'm a massive Viking fan
Yeah.
and an Assassin's Creed fan as well. Paragoes, still got my 1080 Ti too, waiting either to see what AMD cards are like or if they end up being no good, waiting till the 3080 is back in stock.
Exactly. And yeah, obviously stock is a main issue for a lot of people in Australia, isn't it? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
we'll be
So
talking about that as well, don't worry.
mhm, hot topic.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
I think we should go straight into our first topic for tonight.
Let's do it, mate. We've got so
Okay.
much to get through. I like it.
So we've got from Anantech launching this week, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 at 1440p gaming. Now, I've already seen a bunch of videos today. I'm actually getting my sample hopefully mid next week for me to do a quick review on. Literally got to smash it out as quick as I can. Renz goes, considering it's over a month since the 38 and 39's release date. Yeah, don't even, like I said, we'll be chatting about that very soon, Renz.
Yeah, it's a hot topic, mate.
If you guys, as you guys can see here, can I zoom in this? No, I can't. Slap it. Read as well.
I'll get it.
That's all I got it. So you can see here the specs performance difference between the 3070, 3080, 2070, and 1070. So if you look at the CUDA cores of the 3070, for example, because we'll talk about the 3070 at the moment, it's got 5888 CUDA cores compared to the RTX 2070, which has 2304. Then the 1070 has 1920. Then we look at the boost clocks. Boost clocks are very, very close. We're looking at about 125 megahertz, 100, yeah, no, sorry, 1200 megahertz difference. There's a 125 megahertz difference, sorry to say. Mind you, we'll be talking about this as well. So the memory they've put in the RTX 3070 is only GDDR6. It's not GDDR6X as what the 3080's got. So obviously the 3080 will have faster memory inbuilt.
Yep.
Memory bus width is 256 bits, and that's on the 2070 and the 1070 compared to the 320 that's sitting on the 3080. Now, this is where it comes to one of the main issues of the 3070 going into 1440p and even into 4K gaming. It's only got 8 gig of VRAM. Most titles that I saw today were actually ran pretty well on a 3070. Issue is obviously it will have limitations due to VRAM, only due to having 8 gig of VRAM. That's going to be causing major issues. And perspectively, I see a lot of people playing in 4K, 1440 to be 1080 1440p. But the spec comparison, what I saw in reviews today, compared to, say, example, 2080 Ti, was very marginal between the two. The 3070 did beat the 2080 Ti in most of some 4K gaming, in FPS ratings. But when it came to 1080p and to 1440p, the 2080 Ti was literally either beating it or just on par with the 3070. And this is the reason why I actually chose this question for this week's topic for the straw poll is it really worth buying a 3070 if you've got a 2080 Ti, or if you are looking at upgrading, where you can probably buy one for about $400 to $500 now once this gets released, and it's boom, But on place, it is live. Yes, we are live, buddy. Welcome to the chat. Back again.
I'm on it.
Ban him. Yeah, this ban. Thanks, buddy. So yeah, that was one. And guys, actually, just speaking of that, what do you guys think of that in the chat? Like in perspectively, with a 3070 and a 2080 Ti. Disregard what AMD are going to be releasing tomorrow morning, which we'll be talking about next week. If AMD were not releasing any cards tomorrow, and these were your two options, or these were your options, what would you be looking at? Either spending $400 and getting a 2080 Ti if the 3070 was in your price bracket, or would you buy a 3070? What would you do, Rick?
Focusing, if that's the two cards that we're going to choose for, are you going the 3070 or are you going to spend, you know what I mean? I think if your budget is restricting you to a 3070, I think there'd be any point upgrading. I really don't. I think if you're going from a 2080 Ti to a 3070, I really don't think, if it was me and that's the card, if I was sitting here running a 2080 Ti and you said, here, right, mate, I got a 3070 for you. It'll cost you this, this, and this. I think I'd say no, mate. I think I'd say no. I'd stick with the 2080 Ti. I think I'm not in the market at the moment to be able to be affording the 4K gaming in terms of having the monitors and sort of set up. We've spoken about this recently on the show again about bottlenecking, having a 4K potential PC sitting there, but not having a monitor that's going to put out the 4K resolution. It's just pointless. You're bottlenecking yourself. So, you know what I mean? A 2080 Ti is playing the games for my sort of setup to the perfection that I have. And in my eyes, you'd be wasting money going to a 3070, 100%.
Well, don't get me wrong, if 2080 Ti is 4K capable, it's just not, especially with DLSS and RTX on. Like you will still get 70 to 80 frames, 60 frames on most games. And it's if you are playing at 4K, that's really what you're going to get these days anyway.
Yeah.
My perspective is 1080p and 1440p gaming, which is what the 3070 is really sort of based at. And a comparison, even with the 2080 Super, right, which will have the same. I actually want to see about comparing mine once. So I've actually got a 2080 Super here. I will be comparing the 3070 with the 2080 Super because I think that's the card that they should be sort of aiming for due to its VRAM, for example.
Yeah, agreed.
So they both got 8 gig.
Yeah, that's
what I'll be main comparing it to. Because a 2080 Ti, it is top tier. It did beat it in most cases, but it obviously didn't beat it in some other cases as well. So from my perspective, I want to see what this 3070 is actually capable against a 2080 Super.
Yeah, I agree. And look, and like we said just previously as well, waiting to see what AMD release in a few hours as well, seeing how that, how does the 3070 stack up against the AMD base card as well. It's going to be
Exactly.
very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. Is anyone in the chat looking at purchasing a 3070? Or you guys going to be waiting for AMD's release? It's going to be in a few hours to sort of decide what you're looking at buying. And don't get me wrong too, like Ampere have obviously this Ampere series is been, the architecture in this has been completely, changed to a sense to handle the RT cores better than what Turing did. So that's going to be another big jump as well. So specifically, you're not just buying a 3070 just to beat a 2080 Ti in FPS. You are buying it if you are going to be using RTX on or using DLSS. So that architecture there it's second generation really. Is what you're upgrading to next. So that you've got to be very wary between the two cards as well. Yeah, it's not so much about buying a 2080 Ti because it's about $300 cheaper. If you are going to be utilizing, say, example, games that have RTX or have games that can utilize DLSS, then I would say go for the 3070 because it will definitely work and actually go a lot better from that perspective.
No, that's 100%. That's a really good point as well. To not forget that, the obviously the performance stats, but obviously, let's not forget that the 3070 is an RTX card. So and that's is that
they're both
out?
RTX cards. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, but there is that difference. So. So Paris says so. Basically, it's equivalent to a 2080 Ti. The 3070, it's marginal. Obviously, the 3070 is still better, but the 2080 Ti versus up against the 3070, as you can see there, it's very marginal.
It's not 100%. Like against the 2080 Ti, we have a look at a couple of reviewers that have actually released it so far. Now it's literally pretty much on par. Sometimes the 2080 Ti beats it. Sometimes the 3070 beats it. It's in some games. It depends on the game itself.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like Lee said as well. It depends on what you're playing as well.
Yeah. Guys, we'll see what AMD has. If it's good, I'll buy one. Maybe update my monitor down the track. So that's another thing as well. Monitor is one of the most important things. Like
100%, isn't it? Yeah.
When you, especially if you are, look, you got to think of it this way. And I'll say it. I'll probably mention this about 1,000 times so far. The monitor is always in front of your face. Never ever go downgrade your monitor just to get a better video card, because I would rather have a really good monitor and a medium to high video card that's giving me good FPS, but what's in front of me, color correction, if it's IPS, if it's either G-Sync or FreeSync compatible or even G-Sync compatible, you've got to have, it's in front of you every day. 100%. And if you got something that's sort of mediocre, and if you go, I'm telling you now, if you go to a retail store or so forth, and you put a really, say, $1,000 monitor against like a $500 monitor, you put them side by side with the exact same game playing or same footage playing, you will see the 110% difference in it. That's my 2 cents on that, because I'm telling you now, a lot of people will buy a shitty monitor, have a baller PC, and won't even know that, like, you know what, I'm missing out. I'm missing out so much on what this game can really look like compared to having, a bit of a higher end monitor, And
again, look, we've discussed it again. It's definitely bottlenecking your system, isn't it? You're spending so much money on this brilliant PC to play these games at the best FPS rate or the best, picture quality of what you want, and you're forgetting that the monitor is one of the most, if not the key components of having that amazing gameplay in front of your eyes.
That's right. Exactly right.
You're saving money on the monitor when you really should be including the monitor into your budget that to focus on the high end quality gaming that you're after. There's no point buying the 3090 or anything like that without a very expensive, good quality monitor in front of you.
Exactly right. Also, too, with the 3070, so it only has the one 12-pin connector, so it only requires one of your PCIRLs. It does come with an adapter. It's already been mentioned. I actually watched J2 Sense video this morning to not use this single connector on the 3080 that requires double. Look, I don't know for sure or not. We'll have to. I won't test it, to be honest, if I end up getting one, but. Particularly if you do get a founder's card for 3070, obviously it will only come with a single PCI connector on there, because that's all it's required. Mind you, going back to the specs of this card as well, it only has a 220 watt TDP, which I think the 28 Ti, 28 Ti TDP. 20 P, I think it's a lot higher than that, is 250 watt. And mind you, that's straight out of the box without undervolting it as well. So you can still gain a bit of performance on there. So if you're looking at power consumptions, for example, you are getting a 30 watt less card on it from the 3070 with the same performance as a 28 Ti. Just wanted to mention that as well.
Yep.
And then if you look down here, some of the performance charts, if they're seen, not on this one, it's been another site. Well, yeah, that is a 3070, guys. What do you think in the chat? Let us know. Is there anything that you could probably put your input in regard to this? Is it really worth, buying a 3070? If you've got a 2080 Ti or less card, I'll say not 2080 Ti, but a lesser card, say 2060, 2070, or even a 10 series top end cards. If you are going to go for that, I'll say 100%. But then if you can find a really, really cheap 2080 Ti, I'd say most definitely go for that.
What about Lee's back? Let's talk about Lee's office. What are we looking at, Lee? What's the dream PC you see yourself running in a couple of months' time once everything's settled down with the AMD relaunch and everything like that? Are you excited for the AMD, or are you sort of still saying no? Because I know you were talking about the 3090.
Yeah, look, 9 out of 10 at this stage, I probably will be still getting the 3090.
Yep.
And the other reason for that is that I'm looking at maybe either changing the monitor setup I've currently got now. Because I've got 3 PG 279Qs. I might be looking at maybe getting a 49-inch or going into 4K. So if I go to 4K gaming, then that's my particular point we'll be looking at doing. So for me particularly is just not so much to have the best of the best cards, but it's more or less to sort of not have to worry about what I'm looking at. For the next 2-3 years. But with my CPU, I'm still running a 1300X. I have tested a few of AMD's CPUs so far. I've got to say I'm very, very impressed. They have made a big difference on their way. And I've got to say that hopefully, fingers crossed, will when you guys see my review on the one CPU that I'll be releasing on the 6th of November, at 1 a.m., you guys will be able to see what performance you'll get out of one of these AMD CPUs. So that's all I can say at the moment.
We cannot say.
Renz goes, well, if you could sell your 20 Ti to offset the price of 3070, that is the option. That is another option. If you had to sell your 20 Ti and probably spend another couple $100 and get a 3070, but then, like I said, it depends what sort of games you're playing. Slickfly goes 3080 on the way. Whoa, welcome to the chat, buddy.
Nice brother.
3080,
I think that's where I'm at. I'm locking myself into a 3080 still. I think that's still going to be the case after the next 24 hours with the AMD cards coming out. I'm excited to see what they release. I'm very excited to see, but Slick, I think you've made an excellent choice in the 3080.
Most definitely. Yep. Okay, so it's talking about AMD. It's going to be our next topic. AMD Zen 3 Ryzen 5000 prices, specs, release, and data performance. All we know for now. So these prices are in the US, but I will give you now the official prices of the Australian dollar, Rudies. What you guys will be buying the AMD.
So we've got the 4 CPUs.
Are you watching that?
Yeah. We see the 4 CPUs.
Oh god, here we go. Bang. So
4 CPUs. There we go.
Official prices for Australian. So 5950X 1249, 5900X 859, 5800X 699, and the 5600X 469.
It's good pricing, isn't it?
Woo!
It's very good pricing.
That's very good pricing.
It's competitive. It's very competitive. I mean, what can we put? We put that up against the Intel chipsets right now. I mean, what is it? The 10700.
So 5600 is 10600K, then 10700, 10900, and then the 5950X really doesn't have any comparisons against it because it's 16 core.
It's really good prices. It's
Yeah,
really good prices. I mean, we don't know much about the performance. Well, we do, but we can't talk about it. But
yeah.
we without if we are just looking at a price comparison, they're putting the AMD next to the Intel chipset. I mean, that is very, very, very,
Well,
very,
I'll
very
give you
fairly.
some speculated leaks at the moment, right? So 5900X is it's got a boost clock of 4.8 gigahertz. This I already know people have already overclocked
Mhm.
these to 5.1. 5900X goes to 4.9. It's already I
Mhm.
already know of this. It goes to 5 gigahertz. Now this is where I'll sort of have a quick chat with you guys and see what they're sort of aiming the market for, right?
Yep. Yep.
So if you look at this one, for example, the 5600X, 5600X is based, and what they're aiming for this one is for the gamers only. So it is stream compatible, right? You can stream.
Yep.
It is a 6 core, right? 12
Yep.
threads. But if you are just purely gaming, now they have aimed this CPU just for gaming. So if you're not streaming, if you're not doing anything else, you just want to game at, whatever, if it's 1080p or 1440p, even 4K if you wanted to.
Yep.
They've actually made the 5600X just for gaming. That's all I can pretty much say for now. And then the rest just goes up and up. So 5800X, obviously you can do a bit more on that, being an 8 core. 5900X, well, that's pretty much like a medium to top tier. And then you got 5950X, which is pretty much an all. What they've done here, particularly, is they've adjusted, and now the Zen 3 is still on the AM4 socket, but the architecture of the 5000 series is completely different. So the actual die and where all the CPUs sit, and all the components on the actual die itself has been fully reconfigured. So they are still using 7 nanometer. They are still using AM4, but it's like a new CPU on the same socket.
Yep.
At the moment now, only the B550s and the X570 boards are compatible, but
Yep.
I'll share a bit of a little secret. They will have options for the X470 boards later, early next year.
Dun,
And I've probably said
dun.
I've probably said too much already if it hasn't been released yet. So that's as far as I'll go with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So these CPUs so far, for what I've tested, for the one that I've tested so far,
Yep.
is good.
Yeah, no, I think it's incredible. I think they've definitely in pricing they've definitely hit them. Like they've definitely hit where the pricing should be for me. Looking at those prices, I think that is bang on affordable. I still think,
Yeah.
and I think there's still a common conception, and you can probably correct me if I'm wrong because you probably know a bit more. We might not be able to say, but for me, there is still a common conception out there that AMD is for the multitasker. You know, the graphic designers, the video editors, the rowies, all that sort of stuff out in the world. And you got the
Nope.
Intel users that are still the gaming and still the streaming things. But
Nope.
is that about to change? Are we talking? That's my question to you, Lee. Is that conception now going to be dead and buried?
Yes.
Yes. There we go. There we go.
Tell you straight out,
There we go. Yeah. Yeah.
110%.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
AMD have come out firing on these CPUs. I
Bang.
really hope. I
Bang.
really
Bang.
hope they do start firing on their GPUs as well from
Yeah.
tomorrow on.
Yeah.
But these CPUs are the new generation that Intel will be shooting themselves unless they bring out something next year. I forgot what the new architecture is called. Rocket something, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And if they're going to bring something out at a cheaper price point or on the same money, because Intel obviously have been price gouging their CPUs for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
AMD have literally just took the market with this one, and they're on
That's
14 nanometer. Exactly right. They're struggling to even get to 10. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, I've got to say what I've seen so far. If I was building a budget gamer PC, right, with high performance,
Mm-hmm.
it will definitely be
Be an AMD.
AMD.
Wow. There
Yeah,
you go.
I'll be honest.
Wow.
most of my rigs now are AMD. I've actually got about
Yeah, of course.
out
Yeah,
of
you've
the
made the
5 rigs
changes.
I've got here, I've got 3 rigs. Three
Yeah.
rigs are AMD, 2 are Intel.
Yeah.
But my main rig is I've gone to AMD. So
I was going to say you. I mean, we've heard from you before is how that your main rig you've just recently made the switch to AMD and you've seen so much better performance, so much more reliability in
Productivity for me, yeah,
stuff like
definitely,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like don't matter, the 10 core's fine. Like even that
Yeah.
core's fine.
Yeah.
But particularly from my perspective, the 1300X is really doing fine. I don't know if I would change for me to change a 1500X. I'll be straight out. If I don't get a CPU, I won't be buying one because I'm on that because I'm already in that like top tier already. Even though it's a previous generation, for me there isn't much of a difference. I should say.
No.
5950X maybe depending on what the performance on that one is like.
Yeah.
So
no.
I've got to be very
I know, you do have to be
very
careful.
careful. There's like
You do
there's
have to be careful.
what another 8 days left or 9 days
Yeah.
left before it gets
Yeah.
launched. So
Yeah, no, you do have to be careful. But look, let's wait. We got the AMD stuff in the morning, 3 a.m. our time. We've got a little bit more time before Lee can actually reveal and do the, the feedback on the performance, actual
yeah,
performance.
6th of November. Well, you guys will say that.
But look, let's wait with excitement because I really do think AMD are going to pull some big punches this year. And I really do think that we're going to be able to say, like you said, and my question to you, that AMD is no longer the card for the multitasker. AMD is going to be right there for you gamer, gamer enthusiasts as because I'll say right now, growing up, it's always been Intel. Being a gamer enthusiast, always focusing on the latest games. I've always known and led to that being the Intel, but times are changing.
Yeah, it has, and it will. Going to our next topic for tonight, as we were discussing, so AMD will be releasing the RX 6000 series graphics cards featuring AMD's RDNA 2 architecture. What I've seen so far on the back end of this, and it's all on paper to be honest, it does look great. The 6900 XT looks on performance charts. It looks great. I've want to see it in real person to be honest, but particularly to see what they've done with this generation now is going to be absolutely amazing to be honest. Fingers crossed they've actually pulled their finger out of their asses and actually made a card that's comparable at least to the 3080 or just in between. My guess at this stage, it's either going to be two. Actually, I have two. It's either going to be just below the 3080 or just above the 3080. And it's going to be roughly around that mark.
Yeah.
Particularly maybe on 4K gaming, but then we don't know what it's going to be like on 1080p and 1440p.
No, we don't. And I think Pat has got exactly that. They do seem quietly confident about it. I think they do. Everything I've heard from the AMD enthusiasts and the AMD tech gurus that are out there and probably know a lot more than they're not allowed to say, there is some quiet confidence there on that these cards are going to hit exactly where they need to hit. And I think you'd be right in saying that. I think it's going to be just under the 3080, but I'd be expecting it's just going to be just that little bit of a little tickle in front of the 3080 because why not? It still looks like quite a beefy card though. I think they're all looking quite beefy.
It'll be 2.5 to 3 slot cards for sure.
Yeah, so 2.5, 3 slot cards. That's the way of the future. So I hope that also that we've spoken about this before. Be bringing in a smaller card for those small PC enthusiasts like that NZXT H1 build that you did. So yeah, I think I'm quietly excited. And I think exactly what Paris said. I think
actually speaking about that build, I'm actually going to bring that build in for a. I've been getting a lot of questions in regards from that build to see what the temperatures are like and performance is like in these NZXT H1. So I'll actually be bringing that one for follow-up video. So do stay tuned for that one.
There we go.
So from this case here, going back to AMD's new 6000 series GPUs. It can be watched on their YouTube channel or actually on this site here, which I'll put into the chat. Guys,
they got a Twitch channel as well. I'm not sure if they got a Twitch channel.
They do have a Twitch channel. I'm pretty sure it'll be on there at the same time. So you can either go to here, you can watch it live from here, or go to their YouTube channel, or maybe on Twitch. I'm not sure 100%, but most likely they'll probably be on Twitch as well. Yeah. Now, questions asked is yes, on paper, their 6900 XT hands down beats the 3080.
What I've seen.
So performance charts, what their boost clocks are like, and everything else that comes with it. What NVIDIA may be holding back on is either a driver update to see what comes out of these cards, or they will have another good competitor like AMD to see what they're going to be coming up with. I'll just wait for reviews on AMD to collectively to not out the morning. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
so no one will have tomorrow's the launch date. So they'll be announcing it. So no reviewer there'll be no reviews tomorrow. You'll just be pretty much knowing what the card's going to be like. Pretty much what Jensen done about a month and a half before
Yeah.
the 3070s got released out. So
Yeah.
tomorrow you'll just be seeing their spec charts compared to what Nvidia's got.
It will be pretty cool to see. I'm really excited to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I'm like,
It'd be good.
first thing I'll be
It'd
checking
be
in
good
the
to chat
morning
out as well.
yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Deadlux says AMD GPU come at me. I think Dan is in the market for a new build. I think he's on his way out. So I think
I think he
mate,
is. Yeah, exactly.
if you're gonna make the jump to AMD, brother, I think now's a better time than ever. Paris says give that Sapphire Toxic RX 6000.
Mm.
And Fortnite Plays asks, what's the best one out now? Is that the question in terms of what's the best graphics card out now? Is that just maybe a bit more clarification?
Yeah, current GPU. Yeah.
But if that's what you're asking, the 3090 at the moment
And
is
Para
the
goes,
best
I'll
one.
just wait for AMD's collected to run. Yeah. So there's one of the rumors so far about what we've got now, which we have put into the notes here. So rumors already of the 1600 XC with 16 gig of GDDR6 of VRAM, prices lower, and the same performance as a 3080. So that's what they're stating at the moment. So you're getting a $300 card, or say $300 to $350 US dollar card less than a 3080 with the same performance. So this is a reason why people are either waiting, and Nvidia and AMD are probably like just putting their hands together and saying, hey, you know what, Nvidia, if you want to hold out on your cards, your 3080s and 3090s, let us release a card that's $300 cheaper with the exact same performance, or up to performance to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Nvidia have done very well in this, but that is going to be one of our next topics for skip a topic. I did skip a topic.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God, I did. Because I was telling myself let's go into that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think with the one thing for me that I'm going to be very interested in while you bring up the next topic as well with AMD, seeing how look, can we officially say that how poor the Nvidia launch has been? I think if AMD can, obviously release a competitive card for a competitive price and have the launch absolutely bang, aka everyone is able to get a card and there is no bots, buying them all up and all that sort of stuff.
That's right.
Which I think they should have learned from Nvidia's failings there. I think they're going to be ahead of the curve already. So definitely watching to see how their actual launch goes, when they'll be launching it, and how they protect it from the bot purchases and stuff like that. With all the disappointing factors we saw with the Nvidia launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Para goes with how badly Nvidia have dropped the ball. Exactly what I said. With the supply issues, it's a golden opportunity to gain market share. I completely agree, Para. I completely agree. If AMD clutch this launch, and in terms of having the supply and demand ready to go, they have protection against bot purchases. Everything that we saw fail with the Nvidia cards, I completely and 100% agree with you, dude, that AMD will grab the market tenfold because people are out there waiting for these cards. They're wanting a 3070, a 3080, 3090. Can't get their hands on one. Hang on, there's a card here that does similar, if not better, for a good price. Do you know what I mean? You're grabbing the market there, aren't you? You know what I mean? People are not,
Exactly right.
the impatient buyer who's got the money burning a hole in their pocket. Of course, they're going to grab an AMD card. Ren goes for sure, especially if it's close to the 3080 and performance and cheaper, would take a lot of wind out of Nvidia's sail. Completely agree. Exactly.
Of
What we were
course it
just
will.
saying.
Of course it will. So
exactly
let's talk about the next topic. So PCK Gear have got an update on the RTX 30 series.
What we're
So
saying.
the 3070 launch. So the Nvidia launch is midnight this Thursday, October 29th. Stock levels are much improved when compared to the recent 3080 launch due to high demands on most models. So they're saying that the 3070 launch will be a lot better than the 3080 and 3090. But if you look at the updates here, so ASUS GeForce RTX Tough Series 10 gigs. This is the 3080. We received small amounts of shipments since launch, but now it appears supply has halted. The ASUS, the gaming it was a Tough Gaming OC, middle to late November, covering around 30% of pre-orders. Now, going for this list here, this is what issues we're currently getting and what they've done now as well. And we're saying two things. Now they're receiving stock shipments via air freight. That's the reason why
Yeah.
they're coming in small increments.
Yep.
Two, they're saying that NVIDIA are doing two things at the moment. They're halting on the 38s and 39s because knowingly they've got pre-orders against these cars, so they're pretty much guaranteed sales. They're saying that what I've heard rumors of is that they're halting on these orders. So to release the 3070, that's a $500 card, right? US or $499 US, right?
Mm.
They're releasing this $499 US card to the market with guaranteed sales. So they're trying to grab that part of the market and then grab the top end of the market at the same time. But do you think they're kicking themselves in the foot when they're going to sell a $500 card compared to a $1,000 card?
Yeah.
That's my issue at the moment. Look, do you think that's it? I don't even think it's even a smart move to even hold back on any 3080s and 30. Look, and when you think about it too, you're talking about two cars, a 3080s and 3090s. That's more expensive than a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, right?
Yeah.
No comparison in performance wise, right? Compared them two cars against a console, but is NVIDIA trying to grab the market so harshly? They'll sell the $500 cards out very, very quickly. They've got pre-orders on the 30s and 39s because this has never, ever happened in the GPU market where they've they've actually sold out on every single GPU that's currently out there. The 20 series wasn't even locked because I remember even 20 series, it was still available even 2 or 3 days after launch.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just finding it hard to believe what NVIDIA are trying to do with these cards and the reason why they haven't got so many. There's so many cards the cards I've got in pre-orders, they're only fulfilling about 10 to 15% of each retail store.
Dude, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Like that's
crazy.
You know, if the retail stores order 1,000 cards, they're only giving them like 100 cards or 150 cards for fulfillment. It's ridiculous. Like I can't believe.
And look, and that we look at that website, the link, the website that Lee's got up there. It reads for some really, really sad reading, doesn't it? I mean, every card there is small shipments. Small shipments are very small shipment. Shipments are delayed. Every single card there has got small or very small or something sort of some sort of issue listed next to it. It makes for very, very, very sad reading. And look, it's one of, if not the greatest stuff up of launches that I've ever seen. I have ever seen. I've never seen anything in the tech world go as poorly as this launch. Look, we throw 2020 on. There's a 2020 blanket there. We're talking about some other delays in some certain games and stuff like that we're bringing up later. But the 2020 blanket, we throw that on. How badly that's affected this year and what we're seeing. But it's just, I've never seen a launch this bad. I mean, and I've never seen to have so many graphics cards listed on that page. Like, what are we talking there, Lee? Are we talking 10, 12, 13 cards
1,
per?
2, 3, 4,
I mean,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 SKUs of the 3080, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12 SKUs of the 3090.
So you got 12 SKUs of 3090, 13 at the 3080, and you're still struggling with, you know what I mean? You're still struggling. That's, it's mind blowing.
But do you think the issue is there's too many SKUs to work with?
True. Maybe.
So that could be another problem as well. Like the ARB part, like the ARB cards have too many different SKUs.
Yeah.
Like you think about between the 3090 Master and the Eagle is very minimal. I've actually seen these cards, right? There is very fucking minimal difference between the two, but aesthetically. And I think that's what another issue that we're doing as well.
Yeah.
But to have fulfillment orders so lackingly for these cards, AMD have literally just, I reckon, picked the exact good time to release a card that said, you know what, we'll give you performance of a 3080. I'm just saying in paper, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll give you performance of a 3080, take a grain of salt.
Yep.
$300 cheaper, and it's available now.
And
because they're already guaranteeing cards.
100%, they will fly. They will fly, and you are absolutely right. I think you hit the nail on the head there. They are hitting the perfect time when people are out there, like we said at the start of the show, wanting to build their PC, wanting to upgrade, looking at getting that next into that next GPU with the games coming out, you know what I
Mm,
mean? Wanting to have that high-end gaming card in their system,
yeah,
can't get it off Nvidia, but hello, here's AMD saying, "Well, we've got the card for you at a cheaper price with the exact same performance." Bang, you've hit the nail on the head. You are,
exactly right.
that market share is yours for the taking, and I think they'll grab it with both hands.
All right, so if, I don't know if you guys have already seen this before, or you may have seen it. I don't know how many people are actually loving this. I think many people will be liking it.
Mm,
Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed once again to
once again,
this December 10th. So on their tweet here, it states that most of the issues most of the issues is because of the new GPUs being released on PC,
mhm,
but they're saying compatibility issues between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X
mm,
is going to be another problem. So the biggest challenge for us right now is shipping the game on current gen, next gen, and PC at the same time, which requires us to prepare to test 9 versions of its Xbox One X compatibility, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS4 Pro compatibility, and PS5, PC Stadia. Um, and there also another issue is that apparently because they're working from home, they've been having a lot of issues as well.
yeah.
Um, I don't know to believe this or not. I don't know if there's because you know what, the Cyberpunk 27. How long has that been going on for now? Like when did they initially start?
What did we say? Start of the year, we started talking about it. I feel, you know, I mean, I feel like talking tech back in February, January, we started sort of, um,
No,
really
no,
sort
but
of
no.
getting
I'm
into the
saying
vibe.
when did they say that this game was going to be released? Like
Oh,
you know how like
well, sorry, yeah,
Star Citizen
this is
started like
the
7 years
sixth
ago,
delay.
8 years ago.
It's the sixth delay. I'm pretty sure the sixth delay. So, I mean, to find out what their original release date was, I mean, look,
Yeah.
I feel for them. I mean, I can't. Let's look. It was due. Yeah, there you go. So it was originally set to be released on 16th of April,
Mm-hmm.
then pushed to 17th of September,
Yeah.
then pushed to the 19th of November, and now pushed to the 10th of December.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel for them. Look, I want to throw again the 2020 blanket over them to protect them, shield them, keep them warm.
Yeah.
That it has been a hell of a year. It
Like,
has been a hell
but
of a year. I can
honestly,
understand.
do you
Yeah.
think though on this case here is because what it states in here as well? So this is time where many improvements are being made on
Mm,
and what they don't want to do is like example like COD. Yeah, on day one it was like a 60 gig or 40 gig patch
yeah.
update, right? So
Yeah.
they literally want to release the game on day one with a 0 patch.
Yeah.
So I think an extra month, from their perspective, or how long
Yeah.
it's an extra
Yeah.
month, right? So an extra
Yeah.
month, they're looking at this and saying, well, we want to release this game ready on
Mhm.
day one with minimal bugs and a 0 patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I don't know. Like this game better be worth it, to be honest.
I
I don't
agree.
know.
I
Like,
agree. And I think, look,
I will try it. I don't say it'll be
yeah.
my main game that I'll be playing the
Yeah.
whole time, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think from this perspective, they better do a really good job on their launch
Completely
because
agree.
compared to example like Star Citizens, where you can play the game even though it's at
Yeah.
alpha, it's like alpha, beta, whatever you want to call it. But you're at least able to play the game with the devs, and the devs can see what issues, concerns, and they're fixing it on the go. Where this game has zero, nothing, you are literally going to be seeing it on the day of launch. So
Mm,
December 10th, this is what the game's like.
yeah.
And it fucking better look like and better play like their promos have been playing with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of people out there that's going to be very, very pissed.
Look, and I think that's the one thing that they need to realize, that every time there's a delay, it creates a bigger expectation of what you're bringing. And I think we've seen that with Blizzard, even with, delaying Shadowlands, the new expansion for World of
Yeah,
Warcraft. You know what I mean? We're for WoW fans, and I know you are, Lee, as I am too. We're saying that's great, delay it, but you better be delaying it to get it right. If you bring us a game that isn't right, and you've also delayed it 3 to 4 times like Cyberpunk has, and we see issues on launch day, we see all that. I think the expectations there from the average consumer is going to be so much higher because you have made so many delays to get it
that's
right.
correct. I
You've
agree.
got to get it right now. You've got to get it right. That's the only thing I can say. But I do feel for them. I feel for every game studio in the world. I feel for everyone that's been affected by
Well,
2020.
they're all
I was
working from
experiencing
home,
this. So
so
I mean,
you don't blame them to that sort of sense.
no,
So
I
Ren's,
completely completely understand that this year's been actually fucked
Yeah,
for
well,
everyone,
tell
in
me
this
about it.
industry. But look, I just hope that they realize, and I think they would, is that every delay creates a bigger expectation
Yeah,
of what's to come
yeah.
for me anyway.
Well, Renz goes in the chat. Everyone else is pushing their game release dates, so why not? It doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me, to be honest.
yeah,
Do you think to welcome to the chat, Mythic? Cyberpunk 76, if not
yeah.
done right.
True, true.
Paraguys, it's not so much of the date being pushed, it's that it's been pushed 4 times. Better late than never, but it's getting a bit silly. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Cyberpunk was never going to live up to its expectations anyway. It's been hyped to the stratosphere for ages,
Mm,
so it doesn't launch basically flawless. It to get torn
exactly,
apart.
Para. No,
I think
completely agree.
you know what? Either way, even if it's a really good game, people are going to say it's shit anyway because you're either going to have the people that actually like it and all people that hate it regardless of that. It's like, well, speaking of like say WoW fans, like people that love World of Warcraft, people that play World of Warcraft that don't mind it. Then you got people that say I would never ever touch it, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it all depends on your genre, what you play, and so
Yeah.
forth.
And Dan says, yeah, the hype has run out for me because it was PAX last year that was originally announced. It was, yeah. We saw Keanu Reeves on stage PAX last year. Obviously, there was
Yeah.
no PAX this year because of COVID. Yeah, the hype
Oh.
has been
It's
the hype has, it's hard to have a hype train last through
true.
5 delays,
Yeah.
and through 2020. And Dark says as well she kind of saw it coming, and yeah, look, I did too. Also, sadly, I did see it coming. I think a lot of people probably have put their expectations on. I guess they're all taking it with still a grain of salt now. Will December 10th be the release date just before Christmas? It's a smart idea just before Christmas that
Mm.
that you would drop a game like this. But look, let's yeah, the expectations huge. Yeah, so sad to say the track record said all we needed to now. It's back. I agree, Dark. I completely agree. I think their track record. Look, they're a massive game studio as well. Look. Let's say that again. I throw the blanket of 2020 over them. Everyone's been affected by it, especially massive studios. But they're a massive studio with massive financial backing. They've maybe had to let some staff go. We've seen staff let go in all sectors, no matter where you're working. We've seen a huge increase in jobless people and stuff like that. So look, if they're
True.
affected by all that sort of stuff that we don't see what's happening behind the doors, then I completely feel for them. Do you know what I mean? They might be working with a skeleton crew, working from home, getting info, getting packets of data sent for me working here with Lee. I can't imagine having to send a couple of gig of data to him for him to then to analyze and to correct and stuff like that. It would take some time. I completely understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the expectation grows with every single time they delay it. And look, they're also, does it shoot themselves in the foot? They're coming off the back of the Witcher series. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
well,
coming off the
that's
back
another
of
thing
the
as well.
Witcher. And like that is one of the best games we have seen in our generation. Probably, it will stay up there for generations to come. And they're coming off the back of that. And anything that they bring out was always going to be compared to The Witcher. And to compare something to The Witcher,
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely, and we can't see it. Give me 1 second.
you're right. So what we're going to do tonight, guys, following on, obviously I was away last week, unfortunately, but the week before that we did an AMD build live here with Lee. Lee got set a budget. We asked the chat, give us a budget. Has anyone got out there that's wanting to do a build PC, AMD wise? We had someone in chat say, look, I've got a mate that wants to build for $2,000. So Lee said, let's do it. And we sat down, we built that person an AMD PC right here using ScorpTech. .com.au to build an AMD PC. It came out at 1996. The
Yes,
man,
it
the myth,
did.
the legend Lee did it. He was able to get it in budget. So tonight we continue that, just like we were saying. We're going to do an Intel build for those out there that
And
might be looking
maybe
for
with
a
an
CPU.
with an Nvidia, or next week we'll see, but AMD. So we'll
Yeah,
have to have a look at
exactly.
that. So
Yeah.
this week is going to be an Intel build. We will try and cap the budget at $2,000. But we have to get as much close performance as we did with the AMD side. So with the case, we had an MSI MAG Vampiric. We use a Ryzen 5 3600X, or 3600 to say. Western Digital Blue, 500 gig for the OS. We use 16 gig of thermal take RAM. Silverstone 750 watt gold essential power supply. Samsung 870 QVO 2 terabyte our SSD, ASUS Prime B550 board, Cooler Master fans, Cooler Master ML240L, and we had the Gigabyte GeForce RTX 2070 WindForce. So now what we're going to do is we will do another comparison with the Intel side using good old scorptech.com.au on their PC part picker. So let's go. Do you know what? Let's go for the main things first. We'll go motherboard, video card, CPU. So I'll say it's motherboard, CPU, video card. Let's choose them three first, and then we'll have to configure the cart bit later on. So if we go example to motherboards, Intel motherboards. Go CPUs first. We'll go 10th gen because it's current. All right. Well, not going to go for i9s, so we'll go for example i7s. Let's see what prices we get from the i7s. So we can get an i7 10700F, and that's 8-core 64-watt CPU, or we can go for 5 i5s. Prices we're looking at here. Prices are a lot lower.
Chat goes to Witcher #1 Slicky 100%, dude. You know what I mean? And I think again, while Lee's just going through the CPU market here, coming off the back of the Witcher series and the success of that, again, I say it again. This,
Oh, did you hear about what Netflix is doing? They're releasing an Assassin's Creed of live action Assassin's Creed.
I did see that. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Assassin's Creed fans in the house, so that's really cool to see, actually.
We've got two CPUs we can choose from here. i5 10600K, or the KA, I should say. It's the Avengers series, which has is a slightly higher boost clock. No, exactly the same. 125 watts. That heatsink. So this one's haven't got a heatsink anyway. No, let's add that in. So we'll add a 10600KA, and let's go for the motherboards. So let's just click on that CPUs. We'll see what we got here. So this is what comes with it. So we're looking at this, which is $429. It's shoot up a lot of the budget already just by taking that a bit. But
just because we got the Hulk CPU in there.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go for motherboards now, and we have to have wireless because the AMD one has wireless.
Of course.
So we've got to find Wi-Fi. 46 of them, and we're going to board for B460 or H470. Let's just go from prices low to high. Okay, so there is a few boards there that are Wi-Fi compatible. So has Wi-Fi, ASRock, B460M. See, the B4 series you can't obviously overclock, so you have to go for the Z490. We'll go for the cheapest Z490. So let's make it a bit fair, right?
Yep.
So we can go for the Z490 UD-AC motherboard. Let's do at 259. Yeah, let's select that one. All right, so we're at 688 already. CPU motherboard only. Mind you, we can probably drop down in CPUs if we have to, but we'll keep that for now. Let's go for the graphics card now. So GPU, let's put NVIDIA on here. Stocks low to high. Let's say, what was it? We had 2070s, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
did. Let's throw the same 2070 that we had in there, which is the WindForce AC.
Yep. We're going for an Avengers theme here.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Huh? The Avengers themed PC.
So we're at 1317, and it's CPU, motherboard, and video card.
So I mean that's good, is it? I mean, we've got just under $700 to play with now to match the AMD build.
We still need a cooler as well.
Components now. You know what I mean? Now we can obviously start saving some money.
Yeah.
And we've got the performance there ready to boot. So. And
we also need RAM. We still need storage. We've still got a fair bit to go on this one.
We do.
So with cases, what we can do is we'll choose another case this time. We don't have to go with that one there. The Antec NX400, it's actually not a bad case for $79. I think
it's not a bad case at all, actually. Yep. I like that case, yep.
We'll put that in there. So we're 1396, which I think we should go for memory. Yep. So we go DDR4 memory. We won't go too cheap. We'll get some sort of decent RAM for it. And we'll go with, I think we had a 16 gig kit in the other one. So 2/8. So what was the other one we had here? So we use the Thermaltake 3200 megahertz kit, which is, well, this is coming special. 3000 megahertz. Not bad. This is the kit. This is the kit we used last week, but we'll change it. We'll change it around this time. Let's go example. We'll go for the cheapest G skill, which has got a higher clock speed at 109. We're at 1505. What do we need, guys? We need a power supply and storage, don't we? Hey, Nick, how you going? And Fennel as well. Welcome.
Hello, boys.
We need storage, so let's go to M.2s. Yeah. I think the 500 gig WD Blue is going to be still on the high mark because you really can't go past it, really, this stage. Let's go 500 gig.
$2,000 Mark. I think he prefers Mark as well. I'm not sure if he got. I think it's Mark, or it might prefer Fennel. I think it's Mark.
It's Mark. Yeah, we'll call it Mark.
I think we did an AMD build 2 weeks ago where the budget was $2,000.
This was a $2,000 build.
Yeah, so we're trying to do an Intel build now using scorptech.com.au to make a build in the Intel side of things for $2,000 as well. Noting to see if it can be done.
Actually, we can go Samsung this time. We'll go Samsung Evo, and that's for at 109. Or the Seagate Barracuda, which will give you a bit faster write speeds. So look at this, reset to 512. Look at the speed on this one, the Seagate Barracuda. Let's just go Seagate. 129. They've come down so cheap now.
They have, haven't they? They have.
Okay, so what do we need left? What do we got?
Yeah.
So we've got we've got some storage in there at the moment, which will give you shit all, but we still need a power supply. What else do we need, guys?
We need some storage.
We need a PSU. So
PSU as well.
Yeah.
Marco, it's 2K. What's the end goal? Streaming, mid-end, high-end gaming. The goal was originally when we started building these two PCs, the AMD build and the Intel build, was to get the best bang for our buck, i.e., build the best computer we can, both an AMD build and an Intel build for under $2,000. There was no I want to be a streamer or anything like that in mind. It was just what can we get this current day and age using scorptech.com.au? Can we get for our bang for our buck?
For a tongue twister for you.
It was, wasn't it? For $2,000. And I think we definitely did the AMD build 2 weeks ago, and for $2,000, and that PC would definitely do your high end gaming and streaming.
Oh, definitely.
There'd be no way that PC wouldn't be able to handle that. So
look, hey, you welcome.
And I think definitely this build that we're already lining up. You can see the some of the parts we've already got in this build panel that this PC would 100% do high end gaming and streaming as well if that was what you're after.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Better have a drink after that one. Yeah, I think so, Doug.
The Cougar Aqua 240. You know what? We'll do the Cougar. Something different. It's like $6 more expensive. We're at 1918. And we're missing a drive. What can we downsize to this one? Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated.
Welcome in, Moo. Look,
looking at this.
We've gone big CPU. We've gone big motherboard. We've gone big graphics card.
We haven't actually gone that big. Like, I'll be honest. Like the actual those three there are sort of and they're only i5s, 6 cores. Like compared to AMD, we really haven't done. If you look at the differences there, I'm trying to squeeze this in to both. In comparisons, there isn't much.
We haven't, have we? Yeah, no, we haven't.
Like there isn't much between them. Like it's just Look, what's this? What was the CPU prices on?
I mean, we're talking.
What was the CPU price on the AMD?
329.
The 329 compared to 420, so it's $100 difference.
I mean,
just on CPUs. And that 3600 is more than well enough as well. There's the great CPU. Have we gone too high in CPU on this?
Maybe we have. I mean, look,
it's hard. How you going?
I mean, like we're trying to get the equivalent to the AMD Ryzen 5. Is it 5 or 9? I can't
Five,
see.
five.
5. And it's obviously $100 cheaper, but that i5 is, in comparison on that same level. So it's
Mm.
$100 more. So maybe we need to go down to the 9 series or the 9700 CPU or something like that.
Well,
Maybe not
what
the
other
Avengers
CPUs? Well, they're the same price. It's 6600Ks,
Yeah,
but
true,
yeah, they're
true.
about the same price. If we go
Evening
Intel,
Strampy, how you going, dude?
if we
Good
go
to see
Intel
you.
now, let's have a look and see what we can sort of drop it down to. If you want to do a
Uh,
comparison CPU between the two, I would
Yep.
say the 10500 will be the one that's actually comparison to 3600.
Yep.
If we add that, it's the same price. So, and we remove this one. All right, so now we're down. How have we got too many? Oh, we need to update. Keep forgetting you need to update the quantity. I'll remove this.
Dark says Lee's with a witch hat is my new favorite thing. And look, it was shocked when we first saw
How
it at
good
the
is it? I
start of
love
stream as well.
it. So we're at 18. We're at 1818 at the moment.
Yep. What are we still
Do you
without?
think
What are we
that? Do you
still
think the 2070 is a higher? We are doing comparisons against this one. I actually want to do a build of say of like a $1,500 build and a $1,000 build. That's and we're missing a drive at the moment. That's next one we're looking at. And what did we choose last time? We had the Samsung QVO, 2 tera.
We did, yeah.
We might need to go the same drive to keep the drives up.
Yep.
I
agree. And while you're looking, Nico goes, odd question. Because I'm saving up to get a new PC, and while I'm doing research, there seems to be a massive wave of gaming laptops, like more than a desktop. Why is that? Since when you say gaming computer, you wouldn't think of a laptop.
Oh, I never would say that. I'm actually a laptop enthusiast, to be honest.
Yeah.
Have been for a very long time. I've done a review on the Aorus 15G, and I'm currently doing a review on the Aorus 15P. So from my perspective, depending what you use your laptop for, if you're on the go gamer, if you're on the go anything, if you use it as for workhorse, or you just don't want a desktop, a laptop is today's time is more than sufficient enough to play and do whatever you like. And that is the true fact, because I've had high-end gaming laptops, I've had business laptops, and my high-end gaming laptops was literally my gaming desktop for 1 or 2 years, not a problem. So it all depends how much money you want to spend, as well as what are you really using it for.
Yeah, I think we've got. You did a review just recently on the PC 419 YouTube channel about
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
pretty very high end laptop. You can check that out at that link there, Nico, on what his thoughts were. But like Lee said, he's a laptop enthusiast. But I would never say a gaming computer is it is a laptop. I would never say, look, if you were to tell me, hey, I just built this new gaming computer, I just got this new gaming computer, my initial thought would not be you got a laptop. No way.
So we're still up. We're still $136 over.
So we got to send Lee down to the pokies, and he's got to come back with more chilies. Otherwise, we're in big trouble.
So in comparison to AMD at the moment,
yeah,
I can't split the screen, so it's a bit hard for me. So from me perspective, this is what we're looking at. So that's AMD's build, which I'm trying to work out what the difference we have here. So motherboard is 259, our board is 189.
Ooh.
That's a B550. Remember, we are going Z490.
Yep.
Well, actually, no, we can change a board now because we are going for a non-overclocking board.
Mm-hmm.
So we can change a board to something else. Let's change a board. Motherboards, 100, and we need it with Wi-Fi. We must have Wi-Fi because we've selected Wi-Fi on the AMD chip. We go B460. I think we might have that choice because we have gone B.
We got any choice, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think we've gone B550 on that. So we go B460 now. I don't really want to go too cheap, to be honest. Let's go 199. It's not. The ASRock Tough Board's actually pretty good. We're at $57 over. I don't know. I don't know what we can sort of jump down. Maybe the cooler, we can probably jump down, probably an extra $6 there. Maybe a power supply.
Power supply,
Yeah,
potentially.
we've got an 850 watt. Maybe get to a 750 watt power supply.
Yep.
Let's do 750 watt. Yeah, we can go. There's a few there we can choose from. Let's go gold minimum. Silverstone comes back in again. We chose a Silverstone as that one. We had this one last week. We might have to select it again. Oh,
Yep.
Maybe because we're going 2070, we can go for a 650 watt. We might not require all that power. So let's just add that one in and remove. Here's the other power supply. Move this one. Oh, $1 difference between the two. I'm not joking. There's like literally $1.
There is two. Wow. There is two.
There is $1 difference between the two of them. 1996 compared to 1997.
Far out. There we go. It can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done.
But remember, the only difference with this case as well, this one has no extra fans.
Yeah, true.
With the AMD build, we've actually got extra fans in here. So take out $44 out of the AMD build, which is not a requirement, right? It's actually lower. So it's 100. So it's 1960.
Yeah.
Well, actually 1956 actually. So we've actually, if I had to add the fans on to the AMD to the Intel build, we're actually more. And that's pretty much a comparison to two.
I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
like
pretty good.
1996 and 1997. Guys, what do you think? What do you think of the Intel build that you would change that's in here? So we have gone to a faster SSD on the Intel build, M.2, I should say. I think it's very much faster. It's much faster.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's 560, up to 560 read compared to 3,400. So would you rather the more fans or a faster M.2 in the OS? Let us know in the chat.
What do we reckon? I go faster.
I have gone faster.
No.
I've actually gone faster RAM as well on the Intel build.
I don't know what I do. I'll probably go faster. I don't know. I'm changing my mind as we think about it.
I've gone faster RAM and a faster M.2.
Yeah.
So prospectively, the Intel build is quicker, will have 10 times quicker loading times than the AMD build.
Yeah.
You can, Mark, but it was a comparison of actually having the two systems together. So I can actually add, if I had to add the faster RAM and faster M.2 to the AMD build, I think the AMD build will come more expensive.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Nico says, not used a laptop. Oh, back onto laptop. In probs 4 years now since I moved over to a big desktop workspace. I personally do a lot more work with editing Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop along with animation work. I was speaking to Rye, that's me, and I also mentioned my PC is like 5 years old and a bit struggling with games like Modern Warfare. So a budget of like $2,000 and looking on sites like PC Case Gear for pre-built would be best bet. And you're always, I think we've spoken about this previously, and obviously Lee is is the tech guru, can back me up then. You're always going to get a bit bang for buck, Nico, when you build your PC yourself. You're always going to get a cheaper sort of overall saving by buying the pieces because there's no labor costs or anything like that. But if you are going for pre-built, I highly recommend PC Case Gear. I think and Lee, you might know a few pre-built sites that I don't know of that you could go for. If your computer is getting a bit long in the tooth, you can also look at maybe just buying some individual parts to upgrade what you've currently got. Instead of going, I need a whole new PC, new case, new everything. Is there some parts that we can just remove and replace, which are better than what you've got currently as well?
Well, if he's looking at pre-builds, right? So if he's looking at pre-builds at the moment, so if you're looking at their $2,099 build, right? So it's $100 over what we've currently got. It's an i5 9400, 6-core B365 chipset. So it's not even the same chipset we've currently got now. It has got an RTX 2070 Super, so it's got a slightly better video card. 500 gig M.2, 2 terabyte hard drive. So it's not even an SSD, it's just a normal hard drive, by the way. And a 650 watt power supply with Windows 10 Home. So for $100 less, you are getting a slightly better video card, but you are downgrading on pretty much your RAM, which is slower, your CPU, which is last gen, your God knows what they're using for their motherboards, which is a B365, so it's not even a B460. Sorry, Z. What was it? I've actually slipped my mind. We actually tried.
What did we choose?
Board was
What
it?
did we choose?
Yeah, B460. So I was right. Sorry. So yeah, B460, and that's getting for $100 more.
Yeah.
If you had to be on par with the $2,000 build, which we've currently got here, is RTX 2070. It comes with an i5 9400F 6-core. It is a B3560 chipset, 16 gig of RAM, 512, 2 terabyte hard drive, MSI Mag vampiric case, and 60 watt supply. $2,000. Or the Ryzen system, which is pretty much very close to what we've currently got. Our system's got now, but we've got an RTX 2070 in it, 16 gig of RAM, same memory speed. We've got 2 terabyte SSD. We've got a 750 watt power supply. So they are the differences between the two. There's still no news on new AMD CPUs. No.
We spoke about it a little. Yeah,
No.
we're not allowed to talk about it. But we did speak about spoke about the prices earlier in the stream. We had a look at the price comparison, and if the VOD will be up and also on YouTube as well. If you want to look at the prices that we did speak about, there was some very competitive prices for the new CPUs coming out. So. Unfortunately, we still can't talk about the performance, but we did see the pricing, and the pricing is very competitive. There you go.
What's some of the do's and don'ts to look at a pre-build? Well, look, I'm telling you now. Look, don't you dare go have your normal JP. I'm telling you now. Look, this is what I'm saying. Like for the price points that we're putting at, so for a $2,000 price build, for example, even a 2050 price build, you are still looking at a 2060. And some 2070, but the spec performance is completely different. We have chosen a better motherboard, better better PSU. We got high clock RAM, same M.2, but we've got a 2 terabyte SSD. So it does weigh up a lot. You know, mind you, their pre-builds, they roughly work on between 10 to 15% GP on that. Boys just took the first map. Yes. So here's boys. Do you know if AMD is doing a release stream? If so, when? Yes, they're releasing their new or talking about their new GPUs in about 6 hours. So 3 a.m. our time. If you want to know what their new RX 6000 series are going to be like. But you'll have to wait for my review or everyone's review on the 6th of June at 1 a.m. our time to see what the 5000 series CPUs are all about.
Yeah. So I think you can check on their YouTube discs. I think they've got a Twitch channel as well. We revealed, and they've obviously got the AMD website. 3 a.m. our time for Australian to check the actual AMD release. There'll be a lot of news obviously all day through tomorrow. But yeah, 3 a.m. our time is the official announcement/release.
No, well, their AMD Twitch channel is currently. Yeah, there's no mention of it. Yeah, no mention of it all at the moment. So look, most likely they'll probably go live on their Twitch as well. That's about it.
Yeah.
1 a.m. on the right side of Oz. Yes.
Right.
Australian Eastern Daylight Savings.
On the right side.
The Eastern states. Our states. So no, all good, mate. All good. So that's it. Yeah. So that's I'll take a snippet of that as well. And then we'll classify this as our $2,000 builds. I think next round I want to do a $3,000 build. Or we'll do a $3,000 build and see what we can get for $3,000 compared to a pre-build, compared to what is now. You know, thanks for the advice. Also, excuse I'm poor with tech talk. It's mainly why. No, you're more than welcome, Nick. Not a problem at all.
Same,
Any
Rudy.
questions? Any questions you got to ask? All good, buddy. Well, that's what we're here for. So, and that's the reason why I'm sort of doing these things. I'll be actually doing a lot of more YouTube content with these sort of builds as well.
Yep.
To see what we can build for a $2,000, $1,500 build, even $1,000 build, which we're looking at like low end gaming. And as well, I want to do one. Actually, after we do the $3,000 builds for AMD and Intel, I'm going to be doing, or we'll be doing on Talking Tech, a complete secondhand build for $2,000.
Ooh, yes.
So what we can buy for secondhand, motherboards, CPU, RAM. We'll look at the marketplace and we'll see what's out there for $2,000.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it.
So that's gonna be next.
Yep.
All right, guys, but that's going to be the end of the show. I wanted to thank everyone for coming in.
Wrapping it up.
We're going to be wrapping it up. I want to thank also Ricky for obviously co-hosting the show with me as much as every single
As
week.
always, mate.
So
As
you can
always,
head
I
over to
appreciate
Ricky
it.
after Ricky you will be streaming after here, won't you?
I'm not actually. No, I'm
No,
going to give myself the night off,
you're
mate.
giving
I'm
yourself
going to
the
do
night off?
Talking Tech, and I'm going to leave it there. But I will be
Awesome.
back on my channel tomorrow if anyone wants to check it out.
Sounds good. I want to thank our sponsors for the show as well, Cooler Master and Scores and say Scorptech, TesoroTech.com as well. So Tesoro sponsoring the Tesoro gaming chairs, and Cooler Master obviously sponsor PC419 with some cool gear from their mice and keyboards to PC419, and also cooling as well because I'm actually using the cooling gear. So I want to thank Cooler Master for that. But what we're going to be doing, as we always do, I'm actually going to be rating a very special person tonight. He's
We want that.
only doing a 24-hour stream, and that case there, he's doing a charity stream for a friend of his. Friend's father passed away. They really can't afford to do the funeral, so he's sort of putting himself out there for 24 hours to see how much money they can raise for her dad's funeral, and hopefully they can. But I want to raid the Down Under. Awesome guy.
Yeah, awesome guy. Raising money for a friend's funeral that they can't afford. So
Exactly.
definitely the right thing to be supporting, guys, if you can in any way. And yeah, thank you to our sponsors, Tesoro. Again, that Real Madrid chair, Tesoro. Oh baby.
I'll see what I can do for you, buddy. But guys, thank you once again for joining in. We'll see you guys next Wednesday night for Talking Tech. We'll be talking about the new RX 6000 series. If I don't do a YouTube video before that, but we'll be talking regardless on that. Hopefully we get some better, more concrete news on what the performance is like against the 3070, 3080, and even 3090. But guys, thank you once again for joining in. And guess what? We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.